By the end of this video, you are going to understand three things that nobody has ever explained to you about the anger you feel toward your ex. And those three things are going to be the difference between spending the next 5 years of your life mentally chained to someone who has already moved on and actually getting your peace back and living the life you want. You are going to understand the psychological reasons why the anger hasn't left, even though you've tried everything to make it stop. I will explain to you what that anger is actually made of underneath, and you are going to get the exact process I've walked hundreds of women through to dissolve that anger. Not suppress it, not fake forgiveness, not pretend it didn't happen, but actually dissolve it, so it stops taking up space in your body and your mind every single day. Women pay me thousands of dollars to get to this clarity, but you're getting it right now for free. My name is Elisa Schwartz, and over the past 7 years, I've coached over 800 single moms. And I can tell you that the anger toward an ex, that specific, burning, relentless anger, is the single most common thing that keeps women stuck long after the relationship is over. Not the finances, not the co-parenting logistics, the anger. Because the anger never stays in one room. It bleeds into everything. It bleeds into how you parent, how you sleep, how you show up at work, how you feel about your future, how you see yourself. And that is what we are fixing today. Okay, let me first tell you exactly what this anger looks like, because I want you to recognize yourself. It's not always screaming. Sometimes it's the way your jaw tightens when his name comes up. It's the way you replay a specific argument in the shower and you're suddenly saying everything you should have said back then. It's the way you see him post something on social media and your entire day shifts. It's the way you're explaining to your kids for the 100th time why things are the way they are. And underneath the calm voice you're performing for them, there is a rage you don't know what to do with. That anger is there every day, and you're exhausted from carrying it. So the real question this entire video is answering, is this: why won't it leave? You've told yourself to move on. You've probably told yourself to forgive. You've maybe even gone to therapy. So why is the anger still there, still this heavy, still this present? Here's the answer. And this is the part I want you to actually stop and sit with. Anger is not a primary emotion. Anger is a roof. And underneath that roof, in most women I work with, there are three things sitting that never get named, never get felt, never get processed, and because they don't get processed, the anger has no reason to leave. The anger is staying because it is protecting you from feeling something much harder. The first thing under the anger is grief. Not grief for him, necessarily, grief for the life you planned, the version of your future that included a partner, an intact family, a different story. You lost that. And nobody gave you a funeral for it. Nobody sat with you and said, that loss is real, that grief is valid, let yourself feel it. Instead, you had to keep moving because children needed to be fed and bills needed to be paid, and falling apart was not an option. So the grief never left your body. It just turned into anger, because anger is easier to function inside of than grief. The second thing under the anger is a betrayal wound that never healed. Something he did or didn't do broke your trust in a way that felt deeply personal. And betrayal wounds don't heal with time. They heal with processing. If you never processed it, it's still open. And every time he does something now that reminds you of that original wound, a missed pickup, a broken promise to the kids, a text that sets you off, you're not just reacting to today, you're reacting to the original thing. The anger is compounding. The third thing under the anger is fear. Fear about the future, fear about money, about being alone, about your kids growing up in a broken home, about whether you'll ever feel okay again. And fear is intolerable to sit in, so the brain converts it. It converts it into something that at least feels active, at least feels like you're fighting back. It converts it into anger at him, because having a target is less terrifying than having an unknown. That is what your anger is made of: grief, betrayal, and fear, wearing anger as a coat. And here is why this matters for what you do next. You cannot think your way out of anger that is made of those three things. You cannot tell yourself to let it go when what you actually need to do is feel what's underneath it. The women I work with who finally find peace, real peace, not performed peace, do it by going under the anger, not trying to climb over it. So here's the process. 3 steps. And I want you to take these seriously, because these are not generic tips. This is the actual work you need to follow and implement. Step 1 is what I call the grief audit. I want you to get a piece of paper and write down specifically what you lost. Not what he did to you, what you lost. The Sunday mornings that looked a certain way, the person you were before this, the confidence you had, the feeling of being chosen, the family photos that stopped, the future you were building together. Write it all down as loss, not as blame, because you cannot grieve something you haven't named. And until you grieve it, the anger will keep standing in for the sadness you haven't let yourself feel. Most women who do this exercise cry for the first time in years. That is not weakness. That is the grief finally finding the exit it needed. Step 2 is separating his chapter from your story. Right now, in your mind, he is still a main character in the narrative of your life. He takes up mental real estate every single day, in your thoughts, in your conversations, in your decisions. And as long as he is the main character of your inner world, you are handing him a power over your life that he has not earned and does not deserve. The shift is this: his choices are his chapter. Your life is your story. They are not the same document anymore. Every time your mind goes to him, what he's doing, what he did, what he should have done, I want you to ask yourself one question. Is this thought about my future, or is it about his past? If it is about his past, you redirect, not because what he did doesn't matter, but because your attention is a finite resource and you have been giving it to the wrong place for too long. Step 3 is redefining what peace actually means, because most women are waiting for peace to arrive as a feeling. They think peace will feel like not caring anymore, like indifference, like resolution. And they wait for that feeling, and it never comes. So they assume they haven't healed. Peace is not a feeling that arrives. Peace is a decision you make about where your energy goes. I did not find peace the day I stopped caring about what my ex did. I found peace the day I decided that my nervous system, my attention, my emotional energy, those belong to my future, not to his past. That decision is available to you today, right now, before anything about your situation changes.
Now, I want to be clear about something before I let you go, because I've seen women misunderstand this. None of what I just shared is about excusing what happened. It is not about pretending the damage wasn't real. It is not about being the bigger person or being spiritually evolved or forgiving someone who never asked for it. It is about the fact that you deserve to live in a body that is not in a permanent stress response because of a person who is no longer in your life. You deserve mornings that don't start with his voice in your head. You deserve to make decisions about your future from a clear, grounded place, not from a wound. The anger made sense when it first showed up. It was protecting you. But protection that stays past the danger becomes a prison, and you have been in that prison long enough. If this video found you today, it found you for a reason. Drop a word in the comments, any word that describes where you are on this right now. I read every single one. And if you know another woman who is carrying this exact weight, share this with her. She might not know she needs it yet, but she does. And check out the Surviving to Thriving Guide. It's a 6-pillar transformation system that's helped hundreds of burned-out single mothers reclaim their identity, set ironclad boundaries, heal from the inside out, and create a life that actually feels worth living instead of just survivable. I've put all my expertise from working with over 800 single moms over the past 7 years into this guide, and I made it available for everyone. You can find the link in the description or in the first pinned comment below. I'll see you in the next video.